Okay, good evening, everyone. Bershus the Rav. We're continuing with 4 minutes of Mishlei. We're up to Perek Tes, the 9th chapter of Proverbs. So one of the interesting things about Mishlei is that the psukim in Mishlei are sometimes quoted in the Gemara, and the Gemara does very interesting things with it. So I'll point out a few from this Perek alone. First of all, the Gemara in Nedarim quotes a pasuk from Mishlei. The Gemara in the pasuk we'll start with is Pasuk Yud Mayim Genuvim Yimtaku, Velechem Sisarim Yinoam. Stolen waters are sweet, and bread is eaten furtively as tasty. The Gemara in Nedarim, Daf Tzadi Aleph on the base, has this very interesting case, which we won't get into the details of it, has to do with an adulteress, an adulterer, and the Gemara quotes it as a halacha that there's such a thing called Mayim Genuvim Yimtaku, that stolen waters are sweeter, and the Chasam Sofer in his comments on that Gemara, he says that the idea here is the Yetzer Hara makes the actual thing that's forbidden, makes it sweet, it makes it more tasty, more desirable, and that's one of the reasons he says in the Yerushalmi, which he's commenting on a Gemara Nedarim, the Yerushalmi Nedarim tells us that you shouldn't take on more things if the Torah already forbade certain things. You shouldn't take on more things because you're just, if they're allowed, then the Yetzer Hara is not as he's not going to try to make it more sweet. If you take on things and make nidarim and make vows that forbid things that were generally permitted, then you are taking on too much. He says, Yetzer Hara mamtik masha asra haTorah ela she'ata mosav lecha isurim b'nidarecha. That you're adding things to the Torah that were not forbidden, and you're basically you're stacking the deck against yourself, because when you make something forbidden, there's an added challenge that the Yetzer Hara tries to get you to do it. I want to go to the beginning of the Perek, though, and share with you a fascinating theme. The beginning of the Perek has this theme about the contrast between a lates, a scoffer, or someone who's cynical, a cynic, and a chacham, and someone who is wise. The beginning of the Perek has a pasuk ches and other psukim, but this is the main pasuk for today that's quoted in Shas. It says, Al tochach lates, don't give reprove, don't give rebuke to a lates, pen yisna'echka, maybe, perhaps, or for lest he hate you, but l'chacham, you should give tochacha v'ye'eh ha'veka, and he will love you. So the Gemara in Yevamos Daf Samach Hey Amud Beis quotes this, and it says, one opinion is kishim shemitzvah al adam lomar davar hanishma. Just like it's a mitzvah to tell something to someone that will be heard, that will be listened to. Kach mitzvah al adam shelo lomar davar she'eno nishma. Similarly, it is a mitzvah to not say something to someone who won't receive it. And the next opinion, Rabbi Abba says, it's not just a mitzvah. Mitzvah is like a nice thing. Chova, it's a chova, shenamar, and he quotes our pasuk, al tochach leit pen yisoneka hochach l'chacham v'ye'eh veka, that you should not give tochacha to a late. So I saw in the Imre Chaim a beautiful story about the Vizhnitzer Rebbe, who had this, used this value. So he was friendly with a more maskilik, or not necessarily someone who was so close to Yiddishkeit anymore, who was a banker. So the Vizhnitzer Rebbe found out that this banker was going to collect a debt from somebody, and they were defaulting on the loan, and he was going to seize their house, or the bank was going to seize their house. So the Vizhnitzer Rebbe found out about this, and he was, he didn't think this was a good thing to do for two Jews, for one Jew to collect the debt and to take away the other Jew's house. So he went into the bank, and apparently they had a relationship with the Vizhnitzer Rebbe and the bank manager, and he sat down in the bank for 5 minutes, and then he got up to leave. And the bank manager said, Rebbe, why'd you come for 5 minutes and then decide to leave? So he said, because I came to do a mitzvah. He says, what mitzvah did you have to do to just sitting here? He says that the sages say that it's a mitzvah to say something to someone that will receive it, and it's also a mitzvah not to say something to someone who won't receive it. So I came to not say something. It's a great. If you ever need to convince someone, it's reverse psychology. So he said, Rebbe, what was the thing that you didn't say? He says, I can't say it because it's not going to be received. You're not going to listen. He says, no, please tell me. He says, no, you're not going to listen. He goes back and forth. He says, finally, he convinces the Rebbe to tell him that I heard that there's someone who's defaulting on his loan, and you're going to take away his house. You're going to put him out on the street. He says, Rebbe, it's not my decision. I just work here at the bank. He says, I know. That's why I didn't tell you. So he left, and lo and behold, 2 days later, he forgave the whatever, they extended the loan and he didn't take away the person's house.